Episode 1323, The Divine Audit and the Goat with the Suspicious Backpack. I was attempting to achieve a state of sublime indifference, a difficult task when the evening news is on, and Kutupin is trying to explain crypto to my duck. That's when the chaos arrived. It didn't knock. It didn't use the doorbell. It crash-landed. Ashradalu slammed onto my veranda, skidding to a halt just before my pepper vines. He looked like he'd flown through a hurricane and lost an argument with it. "Tiger-ah!" he squawked. A frantic mix of static and existential terror. It's a 5-alarm fire. Sabarimala, gold, copper, spreadsheets, a goat, Tigeretta, a goat is involved. I put down my coffee. When a crow, a creature that communicates primarily through threats and gossip, resorts to a panicked keyword salad, you know the universe has officially stopped making sense. The crime scene, where math went to die. Apparently, there was a tiny clerical error at the Sanidanam. Not a spiritual crisis, not a moral lapse. Worse, a bookkeeping issue. You see, the problem with humans isn't that they're evil, it's that they're creatively incompetent. Some genius, presumably after a lunch of 12 bananas and a nap, had decided to rebrand the temple's assets. Gold-plated sheets were officially labeled as, open quote, objects with a copper-esque vibe, close quote, and the actual copper sheets, open quote, spiritually golden metal adjacent strips, close quote. Asradalu, who once tried to barter a dead lizard for my Wi-Fi password, looked personally offended. "Tigeretta, the books aren't just cooked," he whispered. "They've been slow-roasted, garnished with lies, and served with a side of plausible deniability." I sighed. In this country, you can't get a birth certificate in under 6 months, but you can make gold disappear from a spreadsheet in under 6 seconds. It's a national talent. 2. The perpetrator. A criminal mastermind, according to himself. The rumor mill, which in Kerala runs on coconut oil and suspicion, had a story. The thief wasn't an outsider. Of course not. The real damage always comes from someone with a key, a pious-looking face, and the ambition of a wet pine cone. He was running a small-scale artisanal export business, a startup, if you will. Product? Divine metal. Logistics partner? A goat named Chandran. You must admire the thought process. This man, let's call him Jarish, probably looked in the mirror and told himself, open quote, "Jarish, you're a genius. Nobody suspects a goat." Close quote. If only he knew. In Kerala, a goat is never just a goat. It's a traffic obstruction, a biryani candidate, a political symbol, a walking CCTV camera for 3 aunties. Even Lord Ayappa must have glanced down, sighed, and said, open quote, "And I thought selfie sticks were bad." Close query. The divine ping, yes, Ayappa communicates. No, it's not through WhatsApp. Gods have standards. Their platform is encrypted with prayer and doesn't have a last seen feature. A message materialized in the minds of the Devaswam board during tea. Open quote, "Hey guys, just checking in. That new polish feels a bit coppery. Is my aura buffering or did you change the password?" Close quote. Chaos followed. One official fainted into the banana fritters. Another drafted a press release titled, open quote, "Lord Ayappa appreciates our new sustainable polishing initiative." Close quote. And a third, Gopakumar Sir, head of the subcommittee for auditory clarifications, formed a committee to investigate the need for an investigation. Peak human performance. Ash IV, connoisseurs of failure arrived naturally. I had to go. This wasn't just a scandal. It was a masterclass in human folly. This was my Super Bowl. Asradalu perched on my shoulder, humming a dramatic film score. The audit was in full swing. Less investigation, more existential debate. Gopakumar Sir, born with a tie and a sense of self-importance, held up a plate, open quote, "As per Section 4, subsection B of the Divine Materials Act, this item displays properties that are metallurgically ambiguous." Close quote. Thampi, the temple manager, who sweats professionally, added, open quote, "We must consider spiritual resonance, sir. It may identify as copper, but its soul is gold." Close quote. Asradalu almost fell off my shoulder. "Tigeretta," he wheezed. "He just gave a metal sheet a pronoun. What's next? The temple bell identifies as non-binary?" A coconut fell from a nearby tree at that exact moment, a divine rim shot. Shavi, the interrogation of the 4-legged accomplice. Finally, they brought in the primary suspect, Chandran the goat, chewing a hibiscus, unimpressed, judging everyone. Gopakumar Sir cleared his throat. Open quote, "State your name for the record." Close quote. Me. Thampi translated, open quote, he invokes his right to remain delicious, close quote. Gopakumar continued, open quote, were you or were you not an active participant in the unauthorized relocation of sacred assets? Close quote. Chandran stared, then ate the microphone. Asradalu whispered, Tigeretta, that goat has more integrity than the entire committee. Via, the fall of a genius. He wasn't caught by detective work. He slipped on a banana peel while trying to bribe a squirrel. Kerala justice is poetic and sticky. When they brought him in, he wasn't repentant. He was proud. I wasn't stealing, he declared. I was involved in proactive wealth preservation from hypothetical future thieves. Ajradalu slow clapped. Tigeretta, I think I found my life coach. A divine performance review. The air shifted, silence fell. Ayappa manifested, not with thunder, not with lightning, but with the quiet authority of a CEO entering a meeting where everyone knows they're getting fired. His voice was calm, cosmic, disappointed. Gentlemen, he said, let's review. Gold, copper, I'm a devotion guy. But creative accounting really messes with my cosmic balance sheet. Everyone bowed. The thief fainted. Even Chandran stopped chewing. Fix the books. Fire the branding team who wrote Copper-esque. And stop strapping evidence to livestock. It's inefficient and bad for the goat's posture. He turned to leave, paused, and added, open quote, next time you have a polishing question, just slide into my DMs. My response times are excellent. Close quote. And he vanished. They ate, the final ledger. As we walked into the lamplit evening, Ashradalu was quiet. Tigeretta, what's the moral? I smiled. There is no moral. There is only the punchline. Humans will build magnificent temples, pray with tears, and then form a subcommittee to debate the market value of those tears. And the goat? Asradalu asked. I looked back at Chandran, still chewing Gopakumar Sir's files. The goat is the only one who truly understands. In a world of spreadsheets and saviors, the smart money is always on the grass.